This is surface area of prisms. Today we're going to be finding the surface area of rectangular prisms and triangular prisms using their nets. So here we have a rectangular prism. We've got rectangular bases and rectangles connecting them in the middle. And the net of a rectangular prism is a two-dimensional representation of this solid. A net actually would be if we had that prism and we unfolded the bases, the top and the bottom, and then unfolded the middle pieces. This is what the net would look like for a rectangular prism. And then we're also going to be taking a look at triangular prisms, which have triangle bases and rectangles connecting them in the middle. And if we look at the net of a triangular prism, it would be like unfolding the shapes. We would unfold the top and the bottom, which are triangles, and the three rectangles in the middle. And this would be our net for a triangular prism. To find the surface area, what we're actually going to do is find the area of each individual shape, like the area of this triangle, this rectangle, this rectangle, and this rectangle, and we're going to add them all up. It's the sum of the areas of the solid's faces. And surface area is measured in square units. So things like inches squared, centimeters squared, feet squared, meters squared, just a few examples. So when finding the surface area of a rectangular prism, we know we're dealing with two rectangular bases, and we're going to have all rectangles holding those two bases together in the middle. So if I want to draw a net for my rectangular prism here, I can see that this guy has a longer kind of rectangular top and bottom. And I know it's going to be joined together with four rectangles in the middle. We've got a slightly thinner connecting middle one. We've got these kind of shorter looking side pieces and another shorter side piece here. It kind of looks like a lowercase t on its side, the net. It's not a great picture. It doesn't have to be an awesome picture, but that's our net. That's what it really looks like for a rectangular prism. This one's a little different because the sides of the rectangles are slightly different in size, but the same general concept. I'm going to label all my sides here. Okay, and now I'm going to try to find the area of each side. So first I'm going to find the area of side number 1. That's like our top piece. So our top piece had a length of 7 and a width here of 4. It's the same length as that side piece there. So 7 times 4, this guy has an area of 28. All right, side number 2 is the bottom, and it's identical to the top. So exact same formula, length times width. 7 times 4, we get 28. All right, side number 3, that little side hanging out over there, it's 4, and the height there is 3. 4 by 3 is 12. Side number 4 here is the side kind of facing us, the front. It's 7 by 3, so 21. And then side number 5 is also short. It's that 4 by 3 side again. I see a repeat. And side number 6, our back, is 7 by 3 again. So now I have to add all of these up. So I'm going to add up 28, 28, 12, 21, 12, and 21. And I get 22 here, and 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 here. So my entire surface area here is 122 inches squared. All right, let's take a look at another example here. We have another rectangular prism. So we've got that long piece facing us, but kind of a bigger top piece. So I make my bigger top piece. The bottom is the same, but kind of a skinny piece between them. So, and then like a kind of shorter side piece out here. Longer piece here. Okay, so I'm going to label all these guys. Okay, so first I'm going to start with my top piece, which has a length and a width of 8 by 10. And piece side number 2, the bottom is exactly the same, 8 by 10. Side number 3, these left and right sides here, 3 and 5, they are 10 times 3.5. So I get 35 here. Side number 4, the front facing us, is an 8 by 3 by 5. And that guy gives us a side of 20, 24, 28. All right, side 5 is identical to side 3. And side 6 is identical to side 4. So now I'm going to add all these up. Got 80, 80, 35, 28, 35, 28, 26, 2, 4, 6, 12, 28. I get 286 feet squared. All right, so did all that multiplication and addition without a calculator, but you can use a calculator, so that will make it a little bit easier. Okay, now let's look at some triangular prisms, which have 2 triangular bases with rectangles connecting them in the middle. So I see this guy is kind of laying on its side. The triangle has to be the base if it's a prism, because all the middle pieces of prisms are rectangles. So I know I'm going to have a triangle top and bottom, and I'm going to, on my picture, invert them. Means this one's going to be identical as I can draw it, but upside down. We've got a triangle connecting them in the middle. That's like my base side. And then the 2 triangles that fold up to make the peak there. Okay, so I'm going to label these guys. So when I'm finding the area of a triangle, I have to remember that I'm doing base times height divided by 2. So the triangle has a base of 16 and a height of 6. So for the triangle piece, I'm doing 16 times 6, but divided by 2. Okay, so that's going to give me a total area here of 48. And piece number 2 is also the exact same triangle. The bases are identical, so it's also going to be 48. All right, side number 3, one of these that are reaching up to make the peak. It's a 9 by 10 rectangle, so I do not have to divide by 2. Number 4, side number 4, is this larger rectangle that makes up the bottom. It's a 16 by 9 rectangle there. So that guy is going to have an area of 16 by 9, 144. And then side number 5 is the other rectangle reaching up to make the peak, another 9 by 10. So 90. So I'm adding up here 48, 48, 90, 144, and 90. So I get 20 here. 32 here, and 4. So 420 meters squared is my answer on this guy. All right, let's take a look at one last example here, another triangular prism. So here's my triangle. If it's a prism and I see anything that's not a rectangle, that has to be my base. There's 2 identical triangles in a prism. All the middle pieces are rectangles, so if I see something that's not a rectangle, it's got to be my base. So I'm going to draw this triangle that I see here, and I'm going to draw an inverted one here for my net. And then I've got the piece connecting them in the middle, my base kind of down here. And then this time I've got like a small piece over here, and then this is kind of a long inclined piece here. All right, so here are my 5 sides. So I'm going to start with the triangles. So the triangles have a base of 12 and a height of 5, but all triangles I do base times height divided by 2, so I get 30 here. Same thing for the other triangle. The triangles are the bases, they are always identical in a prism. All right, side number 3 is going to be this long piece here, this rectangle that's like leading up to the top, like the ramp piece. And this guy has a length of 13 and a width here of 8. So 13 by 8 gives us an area there of 104 for that side. Then I've got side 4 is this rectangle down here at the bottom. It's a 12 by 8. An area of 96. And finally, this little side over here, this rectangle is number 5, and it's an 8 by 5, an area of 40. So I'm adding up 30, 30, 104, 96, and 40. So I get 10 here, 20 here, and 3 here. So 300 centimeters squared is my surface area for this triangular prism.